We're getting some breaking news right now. This is breaking news coming to us from CNN, a major update from the Department of Government Efficiency and Elon Musk's role in the Trump administration. CNN, please take it away.
Yes, so this is a 19-year-old high school graduate who has used the unfortunate nickname Big Balls online. So that would be one way that we could refer to him. He is now working at Musk's behest inside Doge. And we looked into his background. And so we found, several notable things, Aaron, one of which is that this individual has founded multiple companies, including one with another unfortunate name, Tesla.sexy LLC, which he established in 2021. He would have been around 16 years old. Now, this LLC controls dozens of web domains.
I love 2025 so much. I love it so much. It's already so great. The vice president lecturing on St. Thomas Aquinas, CNN complaining that Elon Musk, who's now kind of in the government, has hired a teenager genius engineer entrepreneur named Big Balls.
Let me see about this one. Is this working now? Let's see. I can't do anything to check it even, except for perhaps listen on Rumble. Where is Rumble? Here it is. Let's see. Let's bring it back up to date. Okay, how about now? Now it looks like, is there here, hold on. Chicken. See, yeah, it's coming out of everything. It should be, Everybody enjoying the audio issues? I'm going to need somebody to confirm when this is working, because I'm not about this one. Is this working now? Oh, yeah, it's working now. See, I can hear it for sure. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see one more thing here. Perhaps listen on Rumble. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1. Oh, now I still can hear it. Yeah. Okay, I just want to mute the. All I want to do is just mute. Let's bring it back up to date. It's just a monitor. Yeah, monitor the output. Okay. Where was that? Yeah, here we go. Looks like, is that it? No, that's not it. It's got to be this one. See, yeah, it's coming out of everything. It's got to be this one. Yeah, that should be it. It should be that one. That should be. Audio issues. I'm gonna need. Okay, I think I can figure this out as soon as we get to this part. I'm not about this one. Is this working now? Oh yeah, it's working now. See, now I'm hearing a ton of loops. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see one more thing. This sounds really funny on my end right now, too. I'm not going to let this shit get me down, too. I've had way too much. Oh, now I still can hear it. Yeah. Okay, I just want to mute the. All I want to do is just mute. Let's bring it back up to date. It's just a monitor. Yeah, monitor the output. Okay. Where was that? Yeah, okay. Here we go. Looks like if this works, here we go. Here's the moment. Now, let's see. No, that's not it. It's got to be this one. See, yeah, it's coming out of everything. It should be. It's got to be this one. Yeah, that should be it. Check it even, except for it should be that one. Perhaps that should be Rumble. Where is Rumble? Man, the back. Okay, I think I can figure this out as soon as we get to this part. I'm not about this one. Is this working now? Oh yeah, it's working now. Now I'm hearing a ton of loops. Okay, how about now? Okay, I think I got this. I think it's good. I think it's good. This sounds really funny on my end right now too. I'm not gonna let this shit get me down too. Okay, yeah, I think I got it. I hope this is coming through now, because okay, I just want to mute. For all intents and purposes, it sounds like it's coming out of everything. So, okay, let's get back to it. That's just a monitor. Like I said, it wouldn't be Frame Advantage Live without. Now I got to turn off all the background. I'm not about this. Here we go. Mute. There we go. Oh yeah, it's working now. And where is YouTube? There we go. Okay, I think I'm doing all right. I hope so. Wait, hold on. Maybe not. Is this okay? Where's it posted? No, don't mute there. Playback 3 4. I hope I didn't just mess it up either, because if I did, then that would really. Oh wait, here we go. Here we go. Okay, I got it now. I'm pretty sure that's it. Okay, there. I think we're good. Can we get some confirmation from somebody on this? I just want to make sure about this. I'll do this one last time just to make sure. That one. That should be. If you just give me 2 seconds. Hopefully this will be. I think I can figure this out as soon as we get to this part. I'm not about this one. Is this working? Because this is weird. Oh yeah, it's working now. I'll explain exactly why there's this audio issue going on in just a moment. As soon as I know it's working for sure. Let me see one more thing. This sounds really funny on my end right now too. I'm not gonna. I'm catching so many pieces of the audio up until this point. Oh, I need to. Is this up to date? No, it's not up to the right point. So hold on. Let me refresh it one more time. And if this is all good, if I can get confirmation out there, that'd be good. Either way, one or the other, it's always fine. let's see. Oh yeah, this volume's off now.
Sure. Let me see one more thing. This sounds really funny on my end right now. I'm not gonna.
I'm catching so many pieces of the audio up until this point. Oh, I need to. Is this up to date? No, it's not up to the right point. Okay, all right, yeah, I'm working. I definitely am working now. Okay, there's no problem. Okay, there's no way I'm missing it now. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So, story goes like this. So, this all was just like the perfect storm of just everything that could possibly go wrong, going wrong week after week for 2 straight weeks, and then the third week was just too much. So essentially, first week that I was off, which was the week just before the presidential inauguration, I went to go stream. I think I did stream a couple times that week. If I remember correctly, I streamed like 1 or 2 days, I think. Maybe 2 days, but it wasn't more than that, I know, because I got to the third day. I was late. I woke up, I think I woke up past the time when the show was supposed to be already finishing. And so I just kind of said, whatever. The next day, I was, for some reason, and this was the theme for the first week, I was getting these really bad, serious, out of nowhere, some of the worst I've ever had, like panic attacks. I've told you guys before. I have really bad anxiety, and there are usually occasions that kind of can be obvious triggers that set it off, but sometimes it just really is completely spontaneous, and I have no idea why. And that was one of those times, and the reason I remember I did a couple episodes is because I remember that I kind of figured, well, the worst case scenario, if I have to miss out on the next couple days and start over the weekend or even next week, I'll just start from there and go fresh like that. Like, it won't be too big of a deal. But then when I was prepared to go back, which, by the way, I was ready to come back, and I thought for sure inauguration day was like, okay, cool, I'm going to be on. I'm for sure be on. There shouldn't be any problems. This should be good to go. Lo and behold, that was not the case, obviously, because what happened? Well, my mixer was not exactly dead, but the mic inputs were not working at all. There was no mic volume from. There wasn't even a faint sound. There was nothing. It wasn't responding in the slightest. Interestingly, I did try it later that week on a different mic input, but and while it worked at that point, the next time I tried it, it wasn't working even on that mic output or input, or really any mic input on there. Now, the only thing that was going on was it was putting out audio from the PC through the USB cable, but the main line for me was gone. And I have a backup of almost everything. I think I've even mentioned that before. But I realized one thing I don't have a backup for is I don't have a backup audio interface. Like, I was kind of screwed as far as having the equipment goes. Now, in a kind of mad hurry to kind of get something that will work at least decently for a little bit until I can get my own replacement or something. I tried asking people around if they had anything. Nobody had anything, even just some small little processor to use just to get some episodes in for a while until I fixed it. And I couldn't get anything, and so I ended up getting super freaking frustrated. And there's really not much in the way of good music shops anywhere near here. There's one that is the only place I go to in town that has anything that I would really need. There's some places that have a handful of things, but it's always a complete hit or miss, and more often than not, you're going to miss because they don't carry a lot of stuff in. They're more this town, despite the fact that there's a lot of people of all different talents as far as artistic sorts of endeavors go, and what was it? Geez, what are those guys called? Guys that knocked down the. But anyway, um, so I had to go to that place basically if I wanted to get a replacement fast, and I did end up getting a replacement kind of fast, but then there was a couple problems with that one. So once again, here is another layer. I end up getting the replacement, and it works for a little bit, but then I find some issues with it. I try to install the drivers, it makes it worse. I uninstall the drivers, it makes it a little bit better, but I still can't get it to work on the stream setup, like where it'll be recording consistently. And I just start like freaking out. Now there was a bit of time there, which by the way, please tell me if you guys still can't hear me. I want to make sure that you guys hear me at this point because I'm really hoping that it's coming in. It looks like everything's fine though, so I'm not gonna complain. Let me reset this real quick, and then I'll. Actually, I could just, now that this is working, it shouldn't be a problem. Actually, I could just check. Just start like freaking out. Now there. Oh yeah, it's coming through. Okay, all right. Yeah, it wasn't coming through. It's coming through now. Sorry about that. Anyway, so the new replacement was it was a decent mixer. It just it seems like it was more geared towards Mac than Windows OS. So so I had to take that back. But now, lo and behold, there was one interesting aspect that came up during all of this because I told you guys about the setup that I had and I was collecting for just before this whole thing went down, where all these everything started falling apart. Which was, I got that new audio interface, not audio interface, the new preamp and the new compressor that was like really something I'd been eyeballing for a couple months. I was really hyped on it. Sounded really good. And I'm still very happy with those, by the way. They're working fantastic. It was just the fault of not being able to really connect it to anything that would be able to really record it or even play it back. So I ended up I kind of just ended up going to the music shop and getting that thing, and then as I came back and it was all messed up, I noticed online as I'm looking on, because I'm trying to find an audio interface, and I'm trying to find one this time that's like, I don't want to go for an all-out mixer. I don't want to go for something that has a lot of a ton of inputs. I want something more streamlined and efficient, but one that's got the kind of capabilities and power and overall like same value point as the new stuff that I recently got, which was kind of a tall order, especially at the price that I was hoping to kind of spend around. But lo and behold, literally 3 days before I started looking up a new audio interface, there was a release from a company called Solid State Logic. If you're not familiar with them, they are mostly probably a lot more famous in Europe than in North America, but they're probably well known around here, but only really in like audio engineering and recording and broadcast sort of circles where people know a lot about the really high-end equipment, because they've been historically known mostly for like Gigantor mixers, or Gigantor mixing boards, the type of thing you think of when you think of a professional like movie studios soundboard that they always have in the behind the scenes footage of everything, and you see the guy who's sitting behind a desk with about 50 faders and about 300 different knobs and different buttons and all kinds of shit all over. Like, that's the kind of stuff they were mostly involved in making for a long time, up until last probably 5 or 6 years or so, maybe a little more than that. But they finally started breaking into more consumer market areas where, especially because, I mean, with the advent of live streaming, podcasting, and just general content creation for any social media platform. There have been multiple companies that have just kind of really turned hard into making a lot of new equipment that's geared specifically for people who make online content. Just usually somebody who's not as knowledgeable on audio or on audio gear or whatever. And so this company, when they started breaking into the more consumer market, it took a while for them to really kind of gain a good foothold. And I was kind of surprised because at first they had a kind of lukewarm reaction. Not a lot of people really were taking to it that strongly, I would say. But after a couple of years, all of a sudden it was really turning around. Like they were getting a lot more respect and attention from the market. And almost every list of quality sorts of audio interfaces, or especially when it comes to their microphone preamps, they are very highly regarded by most people who know anything about recording or audio engineering or anything like that. But what struck me about them was the versatility on all their devices, and the ability to really pump out a lot of good volume if you need it. Like that you didn't ever really need to crank their equipment up to the highest level on any of their things, because they actually had really solid range that they actually could do from just phantom power, or just whatever you have plugged in, whether it's something you're doing from an instrument or something you're doing vocally or something you're recording from microphones. It's like something like acoustic drums that need to be mic'd or whatever. And that's where they started to kind of hit their footing, because they kind of felt like not branching out, but kind of bringing it back to their original state and hybridizing it to be a little bit more like their old school style of stuff they made, but have a spin on it to where it was less expensive and more accessible to people who didn't have the funds for that kind of thing, as well as being fairly user-friendly for newcomers, because a lot of people who are getting into this space were picking up their desktop audio interface, which was the kind of breakout success that they really had first. But they never really released anything that I personally thought I could use until literally 3 days after this whole mixer thing went down. 3 days. And all of a sudden, I'm finding that they have released not just a new audio interface, not just one that is incredibly versatile and has got some amazing functions on it, but it's rack mounted. And as I told you guys, I got a new desk that has a rack underneath it, and I was trying to make it look impressive by adding a couple more rack mounted devices to it. Now I've added 3, as a matter of fact: a new headphone amp, a new EQ, and this new audio interface, which I went ahead and ordered. It was a hell of an ordeal to get it here, by the way, because I ordered it from a company. They needed approval. The credit card was going back and forth. It was all screwy. It was very difficult to get it all worked out, but we did. It came, and then I needed to sit down and learn how to use it, because this was like throwing me, I've said this before, I am very highly interested in audio engineering and sound mixing and managing, and when it comes to production of any kind of audio, for especially broadcast purposes, I'm really trying to dive headfirst into that kind of field. And so there was a lot I didn't know, and there's a lot I did know, but a lot I didn't know as well. And it was the main issue that came about, I think, was the fact that this was something where you finally were going to need to be reliant on software to make it work, not just the physical box itself. and I've never had any gear that was like was tailor made in that way. It was always made as more or less what you see is what you can use. Everything else is just going to be a bonus if you can, find something that's compatible with it on your PC that will work with, pretty much everything else. But this was a very different situation because what was it, like the material that well, not just the material, but like a lot of their processes are very old fashioned, and they have a lot of respect for the sort of 60s, 70s, and 80s really big name recording studios and artists and producers and mixing and mastering in that time, and all the effort that went into it. And so they try to keep things with a like on all of their gear. There's a everything I've seen, at least for at home sort of gear, there's a button called 4K, which is meant to kind of introduce a decent amount of low volume gain, but at the same time give it a little bit more of a late 50s, early 60s radio sort of feel, which of course I was all over because that sounds like an awesome idea. But more than anything, it was just because this was something that was way closer to what they have made historically. It was just shrunk down, and the reason I'm having trouble with it now is because there's technically 8 physical inputs, but there are another 16 or maybe less than that, but it's about 12 to 18. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's one of those. It's somewhere in there. So anyway, so I needed to sit down. I really needed to crunch on this, but lo and behold, it looks like it's working now, but it took a while to get used to the plugins. It took a while to get used to actually having everything set up on PC and having the ability to monitor it, to change the effects, to change the volume, to change the source and the output. Like everything there's very little you actually do on the physical console itself, and most of it is done on the computer monitors. So that was a massive shift, as well as the quality of the build, because I was at first I was running into a strange issue. Maybe it was from Letitia James. She's back from beyond the grave. I don't know what. Well, actually, there is something about Letitia James I need to bring up. If it's not today, then sometime soon. But anyway, so I think it worked out pretty good in the end. But man, it was tough. So that was about another week and a half or so that I really spent. Not to mention, if you didn't notice some of the things, there's all new opening sequence. There's a new background while I'm going. There's new, pretty much. I tried to update just about everything I could that was reasonable, at least. Not every single thing, but almost everything that was that I've been using, because I looked at this finally as like a I looked at this as basically like, okay, you're kind of forced to take this time off. There's no way that you're going to be able to jump back into this until you get everything sort of squared away. And it's going to be an opportunity to come back, and it's going to be an opportunity to do it with like a much bigger, like your sound equipment and even your audio video equipment in general, as well as your PC, as well as everything physical that goes into this whole process. You're at the end of the line on Picket. You've meticulously picked out every single, and I've been very, very, very specific on everything I've added to the setup, but there we go. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear it, man. I was going to say, I've been fiddled with it for so long. I was hoping it was going to work, but oh yeah, it's going great, man. I'm feeling much better today. as I was saying, I just it was a big switch, but I'm looking at this as a great way to sort of soft reboot Frame Advantage from the very beginning and started. That's why this is a new episode 1, because I kind of I've been watching what's been going on lately. I wish I could have covered it, but in some ways it's kind of good I haven't, because I found myself, almost yelling at the TV sometimes lately about some of the stupid shit that's been going on. But at the same time, I found myself dying laughing at some points about what's been going on, because quite honestly, watching the flailing and just the hysteric temper tantrum that is going on with people, and not even just leftists, but people who really want to be on the. I'm sorry. People that are like in there are kind of torn, and their allegiances don't seem to always align. It's so complicated. It's all over the place, and like I said, it kind of sucked I didn't get to cover it. But I will say that. Yeah, man, that was a crazy freak. I mean, I didn't get to actually watch the game. I did get to watch all the post game, freaking, yeah, what do you call it? Analysis and discussion and such and such. But one thing I did think was hilarious. And I have to point it out just because, like, I watched a couple people discuss this morning, and I just thought, because I didn't catch this and nobody was talking about this last night, but. Of course, because her boyfriend is there, Taylor Swift was there, and her reaction when the auditorium boos her out of the freaking arena is like, she looks so confused. I can't believe she's like, it's like, what's going on? What's happening? What? And then it gets even better, because then Donald Trump pops up on the screen. Everybody goes, "Ah!" Everybody's going crazy. Oh, she had to have freaking just flipped. I'll bet you she freaking was punching people, man. Like, I bet you she freaking flipped so bad. Oh, it was gorgeous. It was such an amazing moment. But that's the hysteria. Like, that's a great encapsulation of what's been going on. The whole Super Bowl, as a matter of fact, because I mean, I heard about. I heard an analysis from people. Everybody was expecting Kansas City to take this. So when I hear about the Eagles taking it, I was like, man, that's an awesome comeback story. And my God, if the comeback story hasn't been the absolute perfect image of what's been going on with just people in general lately, it's incredible to see the level of I guess hope you would call it, is the only thing I can think of. The amount of people willing to allow themselves to hope, I think, is the bigger thing, though. It's like, I don't think people had much hope left in them, but there's been a reason that's been given to them to finally have some hope. And of course, you have the same usual suspects trying to take it all away, but it's not really working anymore. And it's funny because those are the people that forever had control and a grip on the way that people felt. They could make them nervous, or make them excited, or make them angry, or make whatever they felt like doing. They could make them manipulate their emotions in the right way to get the right result for what they wanted. But oh, geez, Louise. You dropped like what? Oh, Kimosabe. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You dropped a like. Got it. Thank you very much, man. Thank you. But yeah, no, it's been such an amazing sight to behold. And when the people that are getting mad are the type of people that we're going to discuss, you're pissing off the right people. I mean, these are the kind of people that deserve to be. Like, these are the people that honestly deserve to be having kind of a heart attack from all the freakouts that they've been having lately. Which, by the way, I would never have guessed in a million years who actually has turned out to be the one lone sane person left on the Democrat side in our capital these days. But I'll talk about that in a minute. But man, nothing has been like the only thing that is something that everyone saw coming. Two things everybody saw coming, and actually has happened was the ICE arrests and the deportations, and the Elon Musk Doge recommendations to the president. But what they've found has been what's really got everybody pissed off, and that's what I'm going to mostly be talking about when we get into the actual meat of the episode today. But I had to discuss at least a little bit of that because it sucked. It really sucked being away. I was really seriously I was really seriously desperate to get back as soon as I could. It sucked so much being away, but I'm back and I'm feeling better. And man, I had ideas after ideas after ideas. Like it's just been nonstop flowing lately, and I think I'm in for a good run this time. I'm gonna try to. Now, bear in mind today I'm on later than I want to be going for it because what's unfortunately become a situation I'm just going to have to figure out how to fix is that I didn't know at all when I was going to come back. There was times where I thought for sure, okay, tomorrow I'll be good. And then it's like, okay, no, maybe by tomorrow or maybe the next day would definitely be good. It still wasn't good. So I had all these clips that I was saving just to make sure that, I had something ready in case I was going to start. And now they've piled up so much that a lot of them are irrelevant. Some of them are still kind of pointed, but I would say most of them are likely just too old to really matter. I could, and even if they did matter, I could just summarize them really quick. They wouldn't be as interesting or even as funny now because it's not new. But I will say this: the ones that I do have, I do have some stuff to play today. I've got plenty of things to discuss today. I'm really excited about it because, man, oh man, it has been a glorious beginning to 2025, and I was here for the very beginning, so I was able to cover, some of the very, very early stuff that we were checking out as the Biden administration was trying to future. Which, by the way, I don't think I got to really cover all the pardons. I definitely didn't get to cover all the pardons, which. I mean, to pardon the people that he pardoned preemptively as I mean, I don't know how you do that and actually think it's a good idea because you're basically confirming what everybody has thought up until this point. You can sugarcoat it and say whatever you want, like, well, we're just worried that Trump's just going to go after him, so this is just a way to. Okay, but why would he go after them if there wasn't some reason he would want to go after him? Well, no, because he's just crazy. He's just a dictator. He's just crazy. No, he's not. No, not really. He never did that before. There was the famous lock her up chant with Hillary, and they said that all the way through the whole campaign in 2016 and through the election in 2016 and all the way through to 2017. And did she ever have any, she wasn't even charged with anything. She wasn't even like considered to be charged with anything for the most part. There was that one final report that came out that was like a final slap in the face to everybody that was following it, which was the freaking dumbass fat guy from the left that always is good at. Is it Clyburn? No, it's not Clyburn. God, I can't remember his name. Anyway, but yeah, they just have been he's been trying to give some of the stupidest responses and reactions to this. For example, today I think this was a whopper. Our good friend Eric Swalwell, the guy who's got a little too close to the Chinese spy. he's talking about national security, which that in and of itself is hilarious and stupid. The guy sleeping with Chinese spies is the one who's worried about national security now all of a sudden, which he always is, but it's only when Trump's in office. And he's talking about all the events recently where there has been some sort of, what would you call it? He calls it like domestic terror or whatever. I would suggest that a lot of it probably isn't. And of course, he cherry picks out like, some incident with, I don't hear anything about this, which when I don't hear anything about it and someone's talking about something this serious, it's kind of a red flag that, okay, this is either something really small that's not represented correctly, or it's just total bullshit and he's just making it up. Because it was supposedly somebody that was pardoned by Trump's executive order to, or what do you call that? The pardon. No, there we go. The whole idea with the pardon thing was in large part also helping several current and former federal law enforcement, or even local law enforcement from different places and different jurisdictions and different offices around the country to potentially check it out. But I don't know who. Well, let's put it this way. Eric Swalwell and oh God, don't get me started on Adam Schiff. I'm gonna have to dedicate a whole episode to Adam Schiff and what an absolute, like, how somebody got away with what he did and ended up being promoted for it is just that one's a travesty, and I can't help it. The Southern California, you dirtbags. I'm not saying anything really negative because I know it's been real hell down there, but come on. I know you guys didn't like Steve Garvey. You found every reason to dislike him. You thought he was going to he's going to pull a Trump, I'm sure. And like, okay, yes, a lone senator is going to, a lone Republican senator is going to do this big event where he's going to speak about everything that's been going on with I guess the technological advancements and things, but yeah, come on now, Adam Schiff is uniquely responsible for putting the country through a huge amount of burden and really pouring gasoline on the fire for 2017 through 2020. And guess what? He doesn't give a damn. He's probably happy about it because it made Trump look worse. And it seems like that's his measuring stick for success. Is it, well, who looked better out of this, me or Trump? And I'm guessing unless Trump is going to the golf course that's on his property, then they're not going. Oh man, this is. I can't. It's weird. It's weird. It's so freaking. Anyway, so that's what happened with me. Kind of sucks, but I'm back and I'm feeling it. So, yeah. Where to begin? Let's see. Well, since I missed, like I said, I actually was getting ready to do a stream to cover everything that was going on at the inauguration. That was the day that the mixer crapped out on me. So that was so disappointing, but yeah, the mixer crapped out on me the day of the inauguration. I did watch it, but it was kind of bittersweet because I should have been talking about it. I knew that there was going to be some serious freaking talented people that were going to be making all kinds of different memes and soundboard effects and all that fun stuff you expect when something funny happens that everybody just kind of finds to be just as funny as it is. Anyway, yeah, it's man, I'm having a hard time figuring out where to start exactly. Where would be a good spot? Where would be a good spot to kind of jump off from? Because there's the pardons that was the first real big freak out, I think, from the left when some of all the pardons were pretty much a big deal, but and pissed everybody off on the left, but and that one went well. There's not a lot to say about that one, except for supposedly that now some guy that was paroled got into a fight with a cop or something. And I'm sitting there going, okay, well, as far as national security goes, I don't know how threatening that is to the entire homeland, but oh, and then of course, yeah, there's the nominees. I had a ton of footage ready for the nominees. That's been, and it's still going on, by the way, of course. Not everybody's been confirmed yet, and there's been a lot of butting heads back and forth, getting some kind of arrangement worked out so that the Republicans in particular are going to back the president's nominations, but unfortunately, the Democrats are not going to let him do that. They're not going to let him have his cap. Which, by the way, like if you go back and look at like 2021 and early 2021 Congress footage where there's a sling of a bunch of people from different walks of life that are all coming in. I think they're kind of trying to pick on the DEI, which oh boy, has that been spotlighted as well lately? Man, I could talk about so much stuff right now. Let's just stick with the subject though. How about we do this? We'll go with just one subject mainly for today because, like I said, I could go on and on about all this stuff, but let's go with. We'll go with one of the most recent ones, not the most recent one, but one of the most recent ones, because we're still kind of finding out more information about it as time goes on. And I think that when this whole thing is done, it's going to be kind of a template for how a lot of these sort of deep dives into spending, how they're all going to kind of be appearing, because ultimately they know they have nobody watching over them, and it's not, I don't know, it's not like there was never any, like, well, first of all, at least there was not like a threat of a lot of these things to even go out of business, but this the work from Doge and Elon Musk, which it is kind of sad that after the bill that was that massive freaking spending bill that was originally drafted and was way too big to even read before they had to sign it. That was kind of the first big win for Doge, because that was when Elon and Vivek were both kind of pouring through the what do you call it? Their files on their voter rolls, I guess, or whatever. They probably know the names of their own voters just as well. Maybe even better. Who knows? They probably call them every other day. I've noticed that I have some people in the family that are longtime Democrat supporters, and they are getting just message after message after message on their phone, on email, from probably some local Democrat leader that's thinking, we know you've been a lifelong member of the Democrat Party. We could use your support. You know what? I'll just show you right now. I have been. I don't even know if I can find it right now. Oh, yeah, there it is. Hey. I'll have you know that I have been a lifelong Republican even before I was born. Because, 1978, I wasn't born yet, but I've been a Republican since then. Oh, my goodness, I dropped it. Where'd it go? Jeez. I'll find it. No, that obviously that came from someone else. But the important thing is that I have it, and that should tell you something. And to be honest, it makes me more aligned with I guess something than anybody on the Democrat side seems to be. They seem to be focused on really nothing other than flipping out, because I swear you don't go through a presidential election, go through the time period where the Congress is waiting, and then they confirm, and then you have your inauguration, and then you start getting into the presidency. You don't ever see like mass coverage of the cabinet picks and their confirmation hearing in front of the Congress. And you know why? Because it's always usually a pretty boring process. They just kind of are there to kind of go along with the program and make sure that, it's not about really real serious in-depth look at every pick for the candidate. It's mostly, can we at least trust this person, that they're not affiliated with like some kind of massive global superpower that we are at conflict with ourselves, or that we were, or something. And that's really where the first bit of confusion comes in, because how do I put this? Well, they weren't happy during the inauguration. They weren't happy during the which, by the way, if you saw the quote unquote bishop or whatever she was, that was a real embarrassment for the church of was it the church of I should know this because my Episcopalian, that's it, Episcopal church in D.C. That's right by the White House. And this freaking lady, who, by the way, apparently is also receiving tons of money from tax dollars that were sent to some of her organizations she's a part of that are, supposedly counter-terror organizations. Of course, they're counter-terror organizations, and I'm sure they're mostly domestic counter-terror, associations, because who cares about the all over 100 actual foreign-born terrorists that are in the country right now? We got to worry about those white nationalists and those domestic extremists, and all those people. They're the real trouble. Even though no, they're not. But the first major super freak out was definitely that aspect. It was definitely, without a doubt, the what do you call, pardon of all the January 6th detainees and defendants that particularly the majority of which had been convicted, and the conviction was completely, what's the word? Man, I'm having a hard time with this today. Well, they weren't exactly fulfilling their function as really intended, but what was the first real? Well, there wasn't really a first real super big target, but people have been to this day, and I think it's in anticipation for obviously something bigger, because the way that the Democrats are just like constantly finding ways to chew people out. This is what I was going back to say on the point about why you don't hear anything about confirmation hearings after a presidential election and inauguration, because it's crazy, but people would stop drinking water for a while if they knew it was getting their cups rained on and stuff like that. But, yeah, how do I, well, what happened was the president pardoned almost all January 6ers who were in prison and had served a significant amount of time, at least, except for like a handful. And we've seen what is going on pretty closely, and I think it's obviously correct to say that when it comes to when it comes to the whole notion of cutting spending, that's not what left wants, because that's how they get allies into their causes. And if you look at all the aid that came out of especially religious nonprofits, it's absolutely just completely mind-boggling how much people like this just have not one good feeling about anything going on in the country at all. They're not interested. They weren't interested in their constituents a long time ago. And but anyway, so they're freaking out. They're freaking out all over the place about all kinds of stuff. But then this last one, this is the one that really was the catalyst for the serious breakdown, which was everyone keeps calling it U.S. aid. It's not really U.S. aid. It's USAID, United States Association of Development, or maybe not association, but or maybe it is. I can't remember for sure. Something like that. Yeah, it is. That's it. It's because it's got slits for tools. It's got slits for. It's just watch. We're just gonna watch. And I would have thought that most people do think it's a good thing, but for some reason, the people who, really, it's like really successful, I guess, or really, like they're getting dropped all over the place, like as they should be, because there's not really any real reason these people would be in any kind of position of authority at this point. They've already been to the highest levels of government. They've already influenced who knows how many freaking. But what I really find to be I find this to be just too much. Like the day they caught wind of the USAID in-depth analysis by Elon Musk, that was the day that they hosted that big-ass demonstration out in front of the Department of Education, for the most part, because I think what they're doing is, like, and this has been very frequent with a lot of topics, a ton of topics lately have been something they've been taking to use as a focal point, but they will be spouting off all these other things that have nothing to do with that and trying to roll back into the fold at the end, like, yeah, okay, awesome, honey, it's great work, your job there. And then, to the rest of the people, they're just like, shut up and listen to what we have to say. This is important. Do you want to lose our democracy? And so it's like a combination of coddling and scare tactics, and taking those two different approaches and seeing what works. And hey, maybe something good will come out of it, but nothing. I couldn't say anything farther from the truth right now. Geez. Anyway, so I have some footage of that, as well as some reactions to that and to the deportations. There's been a number of things on the border, of course. Tom Homan has been hard at work. And And I've been very happy to see that he's been able to just jump right back in the job like he never left it. Like I've seen Dr. Phil even did a whole freaking special on this for God's sake. It was crazy. Dr. Phil does a special about I just said his name. I can look at it. I'm sure I could find it somewhere. Let me just get this out of here so I can think, because I can't. This stupid pop-up keeps coming up. I don't know why. I even don't use Streamlabs for this show. I use regular OBS. Why doesn't it say? Oh, that's why. Okay, well, let me find these clips real quick. It came up again. Jesus. Okay. I might need to take a break too. I knew I was going to be hyped on this episode. I didn't know I was going to be so amped up that I was going to freaking push it right out of the gate. But I guess I should have known that because, it was it was going to be a big day for this setup, and I'm just man. The possibilities are going to be very, very beneficial going into the rest of this year, because there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be going down. And I've heard a lot of people say some things that I just think on their face are pretty ridiculous. And it's not using a bunch of, buzzwords or bad metaphors or whatever people might use to make themselves sound much more intelligent. But the reactions from both the left and the media, and then in turn, then the right and Donald Trump, have been just like so freaking hilarious to watch. And everybody was more or less right, it seems like, when it comes to what he kind of planned, I guess you could say, or because there's no telling what people are going to do unless you know there's going to be a large gathering of people, and you don't allow further security to come in, and then you blame it on the guy who gave you extra security in the first place that you just didn't take advantage of. No, I'm not going to go there right now. But the weird like tendency for people now to really work so difficultly, Skeletor. Some of the more sort of skull face looking members of Congress, they're completely out of touch. And then some of the younger ones are completely out of touch too, because they just remind me of the goofy ass like school project paper thing. And yeah, it's just, yeah. Ah, man. Anyway, so let me pick out a good clip to start with, and then we'll kind of focus on that for a little while, and I'll give you some kind of way to link that back to like how everything has been kind of a big giant sign. Because to be frank, I was, of course, like just waiting for this to all get started. I had no idea. I've never seen such I guess maybe other than honestly kind of Biden, but that was not really flee by executive order. That was flee by here. We're gonna dump you somewhere. So the what was it? Gosh, there's an artifact you wanted. I remember that. Well, anyway, I ended up getting. Let's see if I can count these out here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10. Nah. Oh well. Anyway, so to go back to it, I'll start with let's see. I think I could start with some of the most divorced from reality sort of voices that were speaking for the moment, and use that as a jumping off point, because this is something that was more or less like just made to just rely on itself. And quite frankly, because they do mostly rely on themselves, but most people are actually not plugged in at all to the whole political scene. They know what's going on in the country. They like it, they don't like it, and if they don't like it, they're less inclined to vote for it. Well, people don't really know this as common knowledge, but I think they kind of feel it instinctually, and some people do know it because it's something that they kind of have gone through on their own personal level. But on a level where everyone's kind of screaming at you, it's not really too easy to take your mind off it and not pay attention. But trying to figure out how to set that one up. Oh, that would have to be down there anyway. Oh, whoops. Jeez. Now I'm hitting my head on this again. Let me see. Hold on. Let me find it. Did I actually get that? I have to do another one. Which, by the way, another thing that sucks is the menthol ban is getting serious in California as far as banning menthol cigarette. Now, as far as I can tell, there's no way in hell they could probably do this in a really honest and legitimate way to experience the gameplay and the story. That once you get the sort of specific kind of muzzle break, it looks like in certain games. But let's see. There's some good ones with Tucker. There's some good ones with. Yeah, you know what? Here's a good thing. I haven't talked about this guy much on the channel, but he's one of the best intellectual minds, aside from Jordan Peterson, I guess, who is not at all shy about coming out and speaking to people, younger people or middle-aged people, but we'll just leave it there for now. But that's not what the that's not what they were, expecting, I would imagine. But Victor Davis Hanson's a kind of really down to earth, really, really respected, and very, very highly educated professor from most recently, I guess, Hoover Institution. But you ask him a question about history, or you ask him a question about um, global politics, he's very much someone who knows just about everything there is to know about each subject. I've never heard him uh, be completely unaware of something entirely in lieu of something else. It's strange, but that's the way they do it. So, oh man, she was waiting for me at the end of the alley. Sorry, side observation. But wait, hold on. Where's oh yeah. Oh, but this is yeah, it's from a different news. I want to talk about that, but maybe not on this setup. So, which one was this one on? Oh, I know one thing. So before I go on to the Victor Davis Hanson discussion, there is one clip that it was talked about for a while, but then it kind of vanished rather quickly, and I'm surprised about that because it was a fairly hilarious portrayal of everything that's wrong with the left today. So the Democrats are in some sort of convention blur, I guess you could call. But it would be called, I know, like condensed in the lighting, but man, the light's a little bright, dude. Like, I don't know how much more you need, but anyway, this is a clip of the meeting of the DNC as they're trying to discuss new leadership because, of course, now that they lost and their dreams for utopia have been shattered, they kind of have to dig back through their records and see, whoa, who's this guy look for? And or what's this guy look like? Would you be able to do him for a 3D model? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, cool. You know, it's like there's just a lot of a lot of fans of the game that come out and what do you call it? Man, I don't know what you call that, but anyway, and at the very end of this, if they don't tell you who they elected as one of the senior members of their of the committee, I will tell you, and I will tell you how stupid the decision is. But if it doesn't quite get there, which I think it does, but if it doesn't, I'll make sure that I make sure that it does get out there somehow because my Lord, is this so freaking humiliating? All right. Let me see. Is it this one? No, it's this. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I found it now. So this is about a week ago, I think, today, actually. Trying to decide the leadership for the Democrat National Committee. And well, it more or less speaks for itself. So I'll just let it do it. Go ahead and do that. And here, let me turn the there we go. Desktop volume. I remember how I did this. Oh wait, wrong one. Oh, it was playing already. Oh, that's because the yeah, I know why. Okay, never mind. Freaking Big Balls must have been in here, like, you know, must have been hacking my computer or something, because maybe they think I know where Biden planted all the Ukraine money, or the Burisma money, or whatever. We all know where Hunter spent his on his crack dealer, or his crack girlfriend, or his crack whatever. Crack pipe. That's probably back there too. I think this is it now, though. This one is. There's only two that were very heavily California focused, and there it is. Okay. Wait. Oh, wait. No. That's not it. That's something else. Jeez. Um. hmm. I just saw the opening clip for it a second ago. I said, aha. Aha. No, wait, no, that's another one that would be interesting. Although I think I'm going to save most of Doge's stuff for later because that could be a massive episode on its own. This is going to be a very, like, first episode back. I know that that this is going to be a sort of return to form kind of episode. I'm not expecting this one's going to be my my most celebrated or most watched video or anything like that. I'm just kind of trying to get the feel back into it because I recognized during the time period that I was away is like, man, that was going pretty damn well. I was really enjoying doing it. Even if I didn't stream, I at least got more done finally. Like I was finally getting things finished and felt more accomplished because I was able to do them because I wasn't stressed out over something stupid or anything like that at the time. But for some reason, there's this weird bug in GTA 4 that doesn't let them go on the embankments of certain. I don't know. Certain Rockstar games are getting really, really unusual. But anyway, let's see. Is it this one? No, it's I can't see thumbnails anywhere. If there's wait, no, don't. I'm seeing Dark Souls and Demon Souls artwork all a lot of places, but not what I'm looking for. Oh, that's right. I'm looking in the wrong spot. Okay. All right. Let's see. Man, there is just not. Okay. Oh, I think I found it now. I should have put these all in the big. Oh yeah, why didn't I do this? This would help me guarantee it for sure. Oh damn it! No, turn it off. Jeez, I keep hitting the remove. If you demolish it, it will be recyclable. Which that's another subject we're just not going to have the time to get to today. The whole diet thing from people all over the spectrum of size. Yeah, that's what happened. But anyway, all right. I guess I gotta go with the old one. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Is this the wrong? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Now I think I got it. There we go. Okay. Huh. Man, it was right here. It's been here for like a week or so now. Um, Okay. Oh, no, that's the wrong side. Let's see. I need one where I can see thumbnails and things. Can I read that one? Oh, here we go. Finally, I can see what's going on in this one. Huh. I guess I. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Found it. Okay. All right. And then at the end, the mystery new co-chair or vice chair of the DNC will be announced, and it's exactly the kind of person that you would expect would be the co-chair for or the vice chair, vice chair for the Democrat National Committee. So let's see what kind of grand ideas. Now, bear in mind, this party has just suffered a humiliating defeat. They, their candidate that they were standing behind, that they were 100% sure was gonna come back and beat Trump again. Well, actually, he didn't even make it to the race, and they didn't have time for that pesky, primary business or, the whole democracy thing that they're always yammering on about. So they decided, well, we'll just, one shill and fraud is as good as the next. We'll just use this old crazy broad that we brought from California. We'll bring her in too. Moved to County Carlo, and then he goes. He just tells me what to expect in the area, but I'm thinking, man, this is like a. Doesn't look like a stain, but maybe. I don't think so, though. Anyway, so back onto the DNC. So here we go. Let's get this. Oh, wait. Did I move it? No, it's right here. Okay. So here we go. I think I'll just. There we go. Okay. You hear that? Non-binary person.
Or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced.
Now just bear in mind, first of all, they have that helpful guide up in the corner, just in case you need a little help, which that doesn't answer shit for me, but I guess for them it helps. This guy is supposed to simplify it and make it sound, make it understandable to everybody in the crowd. Look at how. Just watch, I guess. Just watch.
With the results of the previous 4 elections, our elected officers are currently 2 male and 2 female.
Oh my God.
In order to be gender balanced, we must elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. So again, this is what we have to do for this vice chair race. We have to elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. To ensure our process accounts for male, female, and non-binary candidates, we conferred with our RBC co-chair, our LGBT caucus co-chair, and others to ensure that the process is inclusive and meets the gender balance requirements in our rules. To do this, our process will be slightly different than the one outlined to you earlier this week.
You see how great it is to be inclusive, you guys? You see how this is inclusivity in action. This is the way of the future. This is the way that we always should have been. We always should be, wasting time trying to meet quoted systems of how many exact people of each gender need to be in this position and that position. This is progress. This is real progress. If somebody killed me with a butter knife, it's a real progress.
But I hope you will see that in practice it is simple and transparent.
Yeah.
The order of balloting is designed to ensure equal access to the ballot regardless of gender identity. As we must elect a candidate of any gender as well as 1 male and 1 female vice chair, we will first ask members to elect a candidate of any gender on the first ballot. Any candidate, male, female, and non-binary, can be elected on that ballot. After a candidate is elected on the first ballot, we'll have 1 officer of the 3. So then we will know which position is filled of the 1 male, 1 female, and 1 vice chair of any gender. Our second ballot would also be for a candidate of any gender. Then our third ballot will be the third position that is remaining based on the 2 results. Either a male candidate if a candidate that is not male has not been elected, or a female candidate if a female has not been elected.
The confused diatribe was mocked relentlessly by online commentators,
As
with
it
this
should be.
person saying, DNC chair gets confused by his own party's rules for their gender balance provisions, has to hand over the mic to someone else who also can't explain it during leadership voting.
You notice that
This
big
is
D
absolutely
he has
insane.
over his chest? Like that means allegiance right there. That means I stand by the Democrats. That means I'm with this party through thick and thin. Right now it's looking pretty thin, but that's about to change when they see this gender policy we have here at this committee. Because my goodness, who's not going to want to vote for this? All right, let's go. I know. God damn it. All right. Let's go. I don't want to only
This
laugh at
party
this
has
poor
learned
guy.
nothing. And this person
Well,
agreed,
nah,
saying,
fuck this guy.
I was 40 minutes into the strangest SNL skit I had ever seen before I realized I was watching the DNC leadership elections. The DNC was blasted for making every aspect of the event about gender, race, and sexuality.
Hello,
Well, so it's just
Democrats.
another day
Hey,
and,
I am
life-
speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a black woman at this podium, and I
my
deserve
goodness.
your attention like the 11 people who went before me. Yes, I am speaking.
And this bizarre moment had
Oh, he
people
just left the
convinced the
room.
whole event was one big parody.
And we'll begin with the opening statements. Each candidate will have 30 seconds.
Now, this scene
and we'll
is
start with
pretty
Dr.
much
Quintessa Hathaway.
The most,
Good evening, everyone.
well, not this one.
It is
but
my desire to be
this
the
panel.
next DNC chair. And I just want to give you all a little bit of something that's been on my heart here over the last couple of days. You fight on, you fight on, you fight on, you fight on.
The chosen vice president was David Hogg, a
Of
far-left
course it was
anti-gun
Dave.
activist.
Are you ready to go on the offense?
David Hogg, the least impressive guy that's ever been on anything. I mean, you know, they pick kids like this because they've been through traumatic incidents, right? But it's a traumatic incident that involves something that they can latch onto, like gun violence, and so we'll put him out there. And you know what I say? I really don't give a shit. This is the nastiest little shit that ever. He sat around bragging that he hung up on the president. I think that may be his only real accomplishment, that if you call that an accomplishment. But, you know, I think, you know, like as customary, that when the president that is, you know, aware of what's going on, at least, that when that happens and he knows there's been a tragedy, he will call people who are victims of the tragedy and try to speak to them and, you know, hopefully be able to communicate with them to help them and support them in their time, probably their biggest time of need for some people. But not David Hogg. No, he took to the streets. He took to D.C. itself. And he went up there, and for everybody that was, you know, ever complaining about Elon doing that little send-off wave that he did that everybody said looked like a Nazi salute, I would love for them to respond to the picture of David Hogg with his fist out like this and wearing this armband that says something about, you know, like it's some end gun violence thing that he has on, and with this super serious look on his face and holding his arm out like this. I mean, I would say that Elon, not even close. David Hogg, one bad color away from Hitler Youth. I'm just saying, pretty damn close. And it doesn't help being at events like this where, you know, you're basically using race and sex as your guiding lights to elect people that you believe are somehow qualified to be in a leadership role because they're doing what exactly? Oh yeah, they're screaming into the mics loudly about getting on the offense and you know, he likes cussing a lot because he thinks that is pretty, you know, a good way to get his message across. Well, I say fuck you, David Hogg. You don't sound like a very, very effective leader, and this kind of really just kind of pathetic attempt to rally people behind you is not going to be fulfilling. And I don't want to be so bold as to make that prediction. However, if the last two jobs were anything to kind of, you know, kind of focus on as reasons why you should, well, anyway, okay, I'm not going to go on anymore. Let's just listen to what listen to the rest of what this twerp has to say, because this is not the most shining moment for the left, but yeah.
Are you ready to go on the offense? Yeah. We have to win back our young people. I am the only candidate in this race for any of these positions that is under 30. We had a 20-point shift to the right of our young people. We must show our young people we give a damn about them, that we support them, and we invest in them. I have raised over $11 million in the past year to support the future of our party, because I don't just tweet, I don't just talk the talk, I also walk the walk, and I knock the knock in doors across the country. But I'm counting on you in this moment right now. I need your support. Please vote for me. Thank you so much.
Online commentators blasted the appointment, saying the DNC elected David Hogg, the human equivalent of a participation trophy, as co-chair to win the elusive youth vote. Because nothing says relatable and cool quite like a gangly, pasty love child of a soy latte and a man bun who looks like he'd shatter in a gentle breeze. The
Hey,
DNC event
I look
gave
like
an
I
interesting
shatter at a
insight
gentle breeze
into the
sometimes, so
mindset
don't-
of the Democrats following a thumping election loss last year.
Only
It
when I'm
seems
not,
they're still not
working out
getting it
and
and
getting
blaming racism and misogyny for their defeat.
This is the scene that
in
everybody's
this
seen
round.
everywhere.
So I'm going to, I have a show of hands. How many of you believe that racism and misogyny played a role in Vice President Harris's defeat?
So,
Okay.
if it wasn't clear yet,
So
it wasn't clear that they are still completely unaware of anything. They haven't understood one thing that people have said. They still are just so, rage-filled and completely hysterical that they haven't stopped for 1 second to consider anything beyond how angry they are that Donald Trump won. So of course it's because of misogyny and racism, and it's, once again, Candace did a pretty good job of more or less debunking that whole thing. So it's not exactly anyway. It's not exactly inspiring, but I mean, hey, at least they're giving it their best shot. But I guess we'll have to see how it pans out. But I don't know, it's not looking good.
that's good. You all pass.
But that guy'd vote for
This
any of
person
them, I guess.
slammed the inability to learn, saying, "At this point, we should just make J.D. Vance president in 2028. Forget
I
an
concur.
election, because
I
these
con-
Democrats
concur,
wouldn't
not
stand a
confer.
chance at winning, seeing as how they didn't learn their lesson on why they lost on the 5th of November." The bizarre footage comes after Donald Trump has been on a warpath, dismantling DEI and transgenderism.
There we go.
Mary,
you see what I'm
great to
talking
see
about?
you.
This
For having us. So I wanted to follow up on the gender executive orders you mentioned. First of all, we know that President Trump has taken a bunch of steps to protect children from irreversible transgender procedures. Is he interested in backing congressional legislation on this point? And does the Trump administration have interest in investigating doctors who perform these irreversible procedures on kids, such as
that would be
a double
fantastic.
mastectomy on
That
a
would be
minor
very
girl?
good. That
Well,
would
the
be very
president
good.
has already taken a very strong stance on this issue this week with the signing of his executive order, a few executive orders in this space. First, he made it the official policy of the federal government that there are only two sexes, male and female, and we have directed all federal agencies to comply with that policy. As for congressional legislation to support the president's agenda in this space, and certainly ending the mutilation of young children, the chemical castration of young children, which is a barbaric practice that the vast majority of Americans do not support for young minor children. Certainly the president would support Congress's efforts, as he has already made that very clear this week.
And Trump went further just last week, banning all transgender personnel from the military.
Some interesting stuff, well, I mean, some great stuff that he's laid out here in terms of we're getting DEI out of the military, transgender ideology is gone, we're having military men back with back pay who were dismissed for not taking the COVID vaccine. We're going to look at building our own Iron Dome. I mean, the man is on fire.
Getting DEI out of the military is such an obvious thing to do. It's amazing that it has to be done, but good on him for doing it. And it's not just that the military won't take transgendered people. They will get rid of the about 15,000 transgendered people currently serving in the military. And it makes sense in this regard. If you've got a tooth cavity, you are unfit to be deployed. If you had sleep apnea until recently, you are unfit to be deployed. If you've got any condition that requires ongoing medical care, you can't be deployed. And Trump says our military needs to be ready and it needs to be lethal. So you can't have thousands of people who are unable to be deployed because they have an ongoing medical condition that requires ongoing care. It's nothing against transgendered people. It's just that the military is not the place for them. So I think Starbucks will have a lot of people lining up ready to be employed there because Starbucks, have a love for LGBT.
They do, although they are among the growing list of massive corporates that are doing away with their DEI. So who knows who they will be employing next in the lineup. But this is also a duty of care issue. If I know that you aren't fit body and mind, well, I don't believe you to be, then you shouldn't be. If I'm taking good care of you, you shouldn't be in a high-pressure job like the military when you not being at your peak could cost somebody else and you your own life. As for the Iron Dome...
Yeah, it's a point that, you can argue all day as long as you want, constantly, about how it's racist and sexist and transphobic and everything else, that you wouldn't allow transgender people in the military. But to be honest, I am just still amazed at how much traction that gained over such a good chunk of time. Surprisingly, because it really was a very strange. Oh, whoopsie! I closed Google and my YouTube page that was monitoring the stream. Hang on just a second. Let me make sure I have those back up, because I don't want to. I want to make sure I keep everything on at all times. Make sure there's no hiccups or anything. But yeah, no, I'm really surprised that was kept up for as long as it was, because of the fact that I guess it's because we weren't really involved in any open conflicts, aside from the ones we were not physically on the boots on the ground involved in. But if we were in a major conflict, that would have been very bad news to have a military made up. I think I heard a stat at one point that said something like, geez, what was it? It was like a third of the military all of a sudden were people who were completely, essentially bought into the sort of I don't want to say LGBTQAIP blah blah blah, because it's not the gay people that anybody had a problem with. For the most part, it was the trans people that were the ones that people were angry about, and for understandable reasons. But it's just even so. I'm sure we're going to see another set of points that are going to be leveled to try and get people, signal to people, your child might be transgender, or you might be transgender, or someone might be transgender. So you better go talk to somebody so you can figure this all out, because I don't know what's going on either. And it's such a ridiculous, lame perspective, but anyway. So that's some fun news from the DNC to the military's new policies. But because this is since we're back on day one, and I'm gonna kind of go on for not a super long show, but just at least cover a few points about what's been going on lately. I do want to go over one more clip and one more recent point that's been really heavily focused on for more recent news cycles, and that is, of course, the arrests and the ICE arrests and the deportations that are supposed to be happening. Now, I knew this was going to happen as soon as I heard the discussions about it, because I know what the name sort of was going to invoke in people as soon as they heard it. But there was this idea that was thrown out to President Trump that was essentially like, well, if there's complaints about a ton of what do you call it? The place that gets no condensation. Man, I can't remember what you would call it. It's kind of weird. Nah. Oh well. Anyway. Well, let me get down to the subject anyway. So there was several events already where there's been a bunch of ICE agents that go out during the day and in mostly places where there's a tip off about somebody who is either got a really big record or has multiple people within the same community all pointing out to one specific person to the I don't know what the organization, I guess ICE in general, but the borders are, which I love that they just adopted the term borders are, because I don't even know if like that is that's what people would prefer for it to be looked at as, but some people anyway. But the thing was, Dr. Phil, like I said, Dr. Phil did a show with Tom Homan where they were in, I think they were in Chicago or somewhere close to Chicago, I think. But in any case, what was it that happened with the yeah. So when Dr. Phil's out with Tom Homan and ICE, and they're doing these raids, the people they're arresting, they are so freaking arrogant, so smug. They really have been treated like, well, I'll just say it like this: they've been treated better than most American citizens get treated by their agencies or places where they're registered or whatever. It's like, no, sorry, you can't do that. Ah, okay. I that car. Okay. I'm glad you. I'm glad I got this clip anyway. So anyway, where is this? This one's from, as I said, Victor Davis Hanson is talking about this, and this is kind of a more broad view because there's been a number of incidents already, and most of the countries have already kind of caved to the sort of bargains that have been. So the bargains that has been the USA sort of foreign policy for decades or something. But it's just like, it's so hard to see when you see every single family has to go through the same kind of crap, and it's just why do we have to always keep seeing about someone else not doing their job, somebody else getting like some kind of I don't know. It's just, here, let me get to Victor Davis Hanson. We'll talk about it on the other side. I know that one's right around the same clip, so yeah, here we go. Is this the right one? Yeah. Because I like the term he coins in this one, frenemy. I like that one. So, and I forgot to open up Rumble. Hold on real quick. Let me make sure I have Rumble open. Okay, come on, a second now. Okay, there's Rumble, and there, oh, geez. Oh, never mind. It's not a big deal. Wait, where's my channel? Channels. Man, I've been having a little bit more trouble with this setup lately, surprisingly. Oh well, I think I got. Oh, I could just go to. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Oh no, wait, no, I can't do that. Oh, I can just do it here. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Okay, that's it. Wow, my goodness, we had a lot of people turn out today. Thank you guys so much. That's awesome. So let me just finish this. Skip this ad. Man, there's a lot of ads on my videos these days. Hopefully that actually does translate. Okay, anyway. Now that is up and I have both of these running. Now, let's go ahead and get to this Victor Davis Hanson clip from about 4 days ago, I think. This one's a little bit more recent. And I just thought this was a really good piece of analysis because this is one that, you know, the left can yell all they want. What I was getting to before was I completely lost train of thought. What I was trying to get to was that the name that was brought up was Guantanamo Bay. Now, of course, the first thing you think of when you think of that is, this place for the worst of the worst, this place where we kept prisoners of war, where we kept Al-Qaeda terrorists, where we were caught, performing acts of torture that were described, blah, blah, blah. And all that's true, yes, but what a lot of people don't know is that there's the entirety of Guantanamo Bay's detention facility. It's a massive, massive area. Like the entire space is huge, and it's not just a detention facility. There's areas that were set up for that, but there's areas that were set up for what's it called, child and parent, like natal care types of facilities where people that were stranded in countries but and couldn't go back to their home countries. There were sections there. There were sections for people who were waiting on asylum. There were sections that were there as a sort of jail or prison for just straight American citizens. And yeah, it's pretty diverse there, to say the least, as far as like what's capable of being used there, because in any case, whatever your persuasion is, it's a great option as far as if you can't immediately get these people back to the place they came from, which is going to be, especially like for the next 4, it's going to be really, really difficult. But anyway, so let's go ahead and finally get on this clip, and then we can talk about some of the stuff going on with the migration crisis, and how absolutely, completely off the walls, bonkers, batshit crazy it's been under the last administration with this issue, which now Congress is unfortunately saying they don't want one big beautiful bill like President Trump wants. They keep saying they don't find it that would be possible, but or was it 16? No, that was 10 too. That's right. That's right. Sorry, kids. Well, maybe we could help you find some. But anyway, let's get to that clip. I had it right here. Or did I already open it? Yeah, I did. Oh no, I didn't. I just had the player open. Here we go. Okay, let's start this now.
What is the Mexican-American status quo now? It's very disturbing. We sent deported criminals back to Mexico, and they would not allow them to land in Mexico. We had people of the cartel shoot an American citizen on U.S. land and shoot at our Border Patrol. So what is Mexico? Is it a neutral? Is it an ally? Is it an enemy? Is it a frenemy? Hello, this is Victor Davis Hanson for the Daily Signal. I'd like to talk today about the status of Mexican-American, not as a Mexican-American citizen, but Mexico's relationship with the United States. What is the Mexican-American status quo now? It's very disturbing. I'll just give you an example of what I mean. We sent deported criminals back to Mexico, and we were going to, and they would not allow them to land in Mexico. We had people of the cartel shoot an American citizen.
Real quick, just so I can get this out, that one part, most of the rest of what he's going to say is a lot more uncommon because the cartels are usually pretty damn proficient, and they get in and get out quick. But because of how much there's been an explosion of revenue and probably a huge mass amount of people left that need to gain, but I don't know. But anyway, sorry, I just had to get that part out. So anyway, back to the clips.
On U.S. land and shoot at our Border Patrol. So what is Mexico? Is it a neutral? Is it an ally? Is it an enemy? Is it a frenemy? Here's some data. Right now we have a trade deficit with Mexico of $150 billion. Remember Ross Perot? I was about in my 40s, early 40s, 1992, 96, third-party candidate. He said, you're going to hear a big sucking sound. What he meant was your jobs are going to go to Mexico. They're going to run up surpluses. We're going to get hurt. I thought that was kind of a little bit dramatic. That's exactly what happened when he...
Yeah, and if he put that message out today, I think people would have a little different impression. You hear a big sucking sound. So the prostitutes all coming over or what? I don't know what's going on here, but man, that's not exactly the kind of message that Ross Perot would probably want to be putting out. But
warned that as soon as NAFTA went in, they had a 2 to 3 billion, and then 10, and then 40, and then 60. The deficit with Mexico will be about 168 billion per year now. It was in 2024. It'll be bigger. 167 billion. That does not include the $63 billion that Mexican expatriates, the vast majority here illegally, send back to Mexico. And it's worse than that. How does somebody who's impoverished from some of the poorest areas of Mexico free up $400, $500, $600 of their income to send back to the Mexican government? I don't say Mexican government directly, but relieving the Mexican government of their responsibilities to have a social network for their own family, for people's family. And the answer is they're on subsidies, local, state, federal, housing, education, food, healthcare, provided by the American taxpayer. And a third thing that's very worrisome, we should all be worrisome, On average, 75,000 Americans die of fentanyl overdoses per year, and it's been going on for several years, at least a decade. But here's the problem. It's not, as Mr. Obrador say, our fault. Partly an addict, he has to take responsibility. But the cartels take raw products to make fentanyl, shipped in deliberately by China, who wants us to suffer, and then repackages it in special cartel industries.
And I've said this before too, and I'll just make mention of it again because it's an important point to make. Just about no one that was originally a really big heroin addict is doing heroin anymore. Everyone is doing fentanyl because it's just so much more potent. It's so much more intense of a high, and so really hardcore addicts are just doing, and they have the tolerance level to where they can do it and not get killed as long as they don't take too much. But one thing about fentanyl that's really crazy is that it's so potent that even if you're a seasoned sort of opiate user, and even if you favor it out to something that you would believe is the safe amount to take to get a really good buzz going, but not enough to really cause any serious problems, that could be the difference of like a few freaking grains or something, Like it's a tiny, tiny, tiny little amount, and so yeah, it's not exactly accurate when he says, that's what will. I mean, maybe it is what they want to do, but there's not really much. In there, well, I'll put it this way. Like, I think I mentioned this story too. Friend of mine was also into opiates, and this was before I knew him when he told me about this story that happened to him. He had gotten into a point where he was really seriously using opiates a lot, and he went into a sort of treatment center because he really had no serious choice in the matter. There was like, if I remember correctly, his girlfriend was like, "No, you're gonna do this. You're gonna do it, and that's all there is to it. You're gonna do it." It's like, and I remember he was kind of frustrated, but in a lot of ways, like, yeah, well, kind of had it coming, dude. I mean, geez, it's like you got. Anyway, it's just so the point is though that he went to this clinic because he was on so many different painkillers for so long, and he was trying to figure out if there's something that could ease some of the most intense pain standards that we fucking have, and this is so wild on this level here that this is like something that's still being talked about, but either way, it's just that's how strong fentanyl is that like anybody who did heroin, anybody who did any other painkiller or opiate or just opium or what's it called, Monty Down, is it no is it God's gonna cut you down or gonna cut you down? I think it's God's gonna cut you down. But yeah, that's it's the guy there basically told him, "Man, you know what? Like, I wish we could do something for you, but like, we can't really do anything for you." And he was upset by it, but he obviously got the point because he was just the dosage of stuff he was taking was just too high. There was too much varying degrees of stuff, and adding another one into the mix wasn't only going to be like a dumb move; it'd be completely dangerous. So, yeah, it's a very It's a very serious problem, and not just in the game, but in life, of course. But it really depends on what ocean you're on, what your tolerance to sand is. Anyway, I'll get back to this. I'm sorry. I want to point that out because fentanyl is like no joke. It really not just for the. Oh, jeez. I tried to move this out of the way. It got in the way more. No joke. Not just because of the strength of the hit and the susceptibility of normal people to overdose on it very easily, but even for seasoned users of different types of drugs in that same classification, it is now the preferred, drug in that category. Just like simply because of the means that they've always traditionally given you a discount on. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's just one of those things where, man, if you're that far down into an addiction to where you have to take something like fentanyl to get the buzz that works for it, it's like, man, they told them flat out there's not really anything we're going to be able to do to help you really ease much of the pain. I mean, your best bet is to take some serious high grade painkillers, but not painkillers, sleep medications to be able to give that a serious look at anything. But anyway, so yeah, I'm sorry, I won't interrupt anymore. We'll go back to that clip. If I can find the mouse, where'd it go? Oh, there it is.
And then disguises it for export into the United States, sometimes by lacing it into fake pharmaceuticals that are prescription drugs, and sometimes putting it into opiates so that the user may get a high but won't be killed, but may be killed because they're inexact or they're deliberate, who knows. And if you total that up over a decade, that's 750,000 deaths. That's more than all of the wars of the 20th century and the 21st century. World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, First Gulf War, Iraq, Afghanistan. All the people who died by our enemies, the Mexican government or the cartels, and I say Mexican government by enabling the cartels, have killed Americans. It's worse than that. And in addition to that, the Mexican government votes against the United States on almost every major referendum at the United Nations, especially anything to deal with the Middle East. So this is my point. They are deliberately exporting their poor, and now we had 12 million people come in, and their way of thinking, this is wonderful. We have a safety valve, so if we have internal dissension because we've exploited indigenous people, we send them to the United States. Number two, they send back $63 billion. It's our second largest source of foreign exchange, more than tourism and oil, right next to the trade surplus we get with the United States. And then the cartels, we don't know how much they make, but that money is fungible. So between these trade surplus of 167 billion plus the 63 billion in remittances, plus whatever the cartel make, 20, 30 billion from their opiate sales in the United States, we're getting over $200 billion off this asymmetrical relationship. And we pay the United States back by saying, if you dare deport people who have committed a felony or a crime, we're going to block your arrival. So I don't know what Mexico is, but I know what we can do about it. 20% tax on anybody who sends anywhere in the United States money back to Mexico. That would raise about $12 billion. That would send a message. And then we have a tariff. Donald Trump says he's going to do it very quickly. And that would tell Mexico, you're not going to run up $167 billion under the guise of the North American Free Trade Association. Not going to happen. And then we're going to tell them, if you don't deal with the cartels, we will. And I think Mexico will come to attention. And we will not have Ms. Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, saying what Mr. Obrador did. during the Biden administration. It's a beautiful thing that 40 million people have come to the United States illegally. Oh, by the way, I suggest all you people who can vote in the United States vote against Republican. And he did that again and again and again. It's time for us to be very sober, careful, judicious, and say to Mexico, you have to decide whether you're a friend, an ally, or an enemy, because right now you are an enemy of the United States, and we will take the make the necessary adjustments for that unfortunate fact. Thank you very much, Victor Davis Hanson, for the Daily Signal.
Yet another side effect for having the open
Thank you for watching today's
situation.
podcast. And for more news like that, subscribe to the Daily Signal. Maybe you can check out my own website at victorhansen.com for podcasts.
So, like I said, that's another just, when we have 4 years of an open border and we give the cartels control of that border, basically, to the point that they control literally everything that comes across, and they profit from it. And there's a huge incentive to keep it going. And neither they nor our own government really seems to care about the people that are even coming, or much less for our own citizens or anything like that. The only metric that is focused on is how many people are coming across the border, which even then is an inaccurate number unless somehow they've been utilizing some of the most secretive and in-depth what would that be, like surveillance software, surveillance hardware that you could possibly find to cover every single inch of the border where someone might cross. You're not going to have a full picture of the whole thing and everybody coming across because, it's just not going to, they're not going to be able to cross, so we're going to have to find another way across. But player could step right over and just do that too. So, there's always up. The point is, though, that like now we have people who are trying to clean up the mess. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that the way that it's handled right now is exactly the right way to go, and I think that what people care about most is going to be getting the people out that have been. These are all people, by the way, that have records in their home country that we were able to get access to, or that someone was able to give us access to. That is kind of insane when you think about it, because how is this going to well, anyway, how is that going to enter into the discussion about what we're doing, what we should be doing, and the best remedy for going forward? Now, the worst of the worst are the ones that are going to require the highest security, quite obviously, but the other ones that are here and trying to just quote unquote, earn a living, as we always hear about from idiots on different online shows, but the it's either way, the levels that we're talking about are just they're incredible. What people on the left didn't really count on was that one of the biggest demographic shifts in the last election was Hispanic people to the Republican Party, because and people have mentioned this too, like that traditionally Hispanic people are far more religious than American people. They're far more committed to family structure and maintaining a family structure than American citizens are. They're far more driven to complete hard work when they didn't mod themselves. So, they yeah, these are all things looking like they're going to be real serious issues going forward. But it's awesome seeing the immediate danger be alleviated, essentially. And my goodness, I hope that whatever happens, they throw the book at him on this, because this is another thing where this time it was where the Biden administration went to go arrest a private citizen. When the police went to go arrest a private citizen, and but it's definitely going to be like, if you can offer some incentive. And I thought this was a really interesting idea, that if you are someone who self-deports, or if you volunteer to be supported or to be deported, because I know that there was a documentary I watched quite a while back now. It was a couple of years, but it was on the migrant situation, and it was gut-wrenching to listen to. And yet, it's just, what do you do? What can you possibly do? The only thing you can do is what we're doing, but that along with all the other multitude of problems, who knows exactly what'll happen, but at the same time, just the fact that it's being acknowledged, just the fact that it's being steps are being taken to actually talk about it, address it, and fix it, is both incredibly enlightening and also very incredibly in withdrawal stages of not liking. So, yeah, please don't just assume that this is all going to kind of work itself out. When you see the actual sorts of things, next time I do a show, I'll focus on probably this subject, because I did save that whole Dr. Phil episode just because it was really, really fascinating, and it's really interesting when you see the interactions between the immigrants, and when they know that they're not just here illegally by way of crossing the border illegally, but they're also not legal by way of what's it called? British Columbia. Yeah, that's my service. You see, the people that are here illegally they've already started taking over, rental houses, rental apartments. There was a whole complex that we saw in Colorado that got taken over by that. Was it Trendearagua, or was it? I can't remember who it was, but there was the gang. They were telling everybody to get out, and everybody kind of was forced out. So that was a nice little sign to remind us who we let in. But it blows me away that they still are discussing this as if there's any kind of doubt in the minds of anybody who might have been persuaded by these people if they had done something else that was like that was less machined and more accurate to the device. But even so, it's a device that is not going to bestow any kind of power on anybody that is going to be unwilling to use it. And when you see the actual heads of the organization, they have so much power and so much influence. Like the most famous drug lord in Mexico was what's his name again, man? Well, anyway, I'll have to save that for another episode because I've been kind of just going on impulse for this one, and like I said, I don't know. I was not expecting the turnout that we had today. This was a crazy freaking turnout, but I gotta say, I'm very pleased. Thank you guys so much. Today was a rough start because I'll just tell you that I was obviously the sound wasn't even working at first. I'm glad I got that fixed, but I was finishing up the what was I finishing up this morning? There was some things I was finishing up some kind of well, it wasn't the intro, it wasn't oh, I remember. I was trying to, well, first off, I was trying to decide on topics, and then I was organizing the videos that I thought would be used. There's one more in this category, but it kind of just rehashes what we've gone over. So, but I didn't really have a plan going into it. I didn't know if I was going to talk more about being gone, or if I was going to talk more about what's been going on, or if I was going to crash and burn, or if this was going to be something where I ended up having everything screw up again. I had no idea. But I can safely say that I've been looking forward to this for like a couple of weeks now, and it's been a lot of work, and I'm on the verge of kind of passing out at this point. It's probably been noticed. This happened several times in my streams before, but honestly, I wasn't going to stop it this time because I'm too excited about the fact that finally up and running again. And to be honest, I was starting to see some pretty good signs of life in the stream towards the end of the last sessions that we had. So, so with that being said, as I've said before, I'll tell you this again just to make sure everybody knows loud and clear at this point. If you want to know anything concrete, follow me on X because I can tell you right now, it's not a done deal. The project's not over. The streams aren't over, and the show isn't over until I make an announcement that it's over. And I'm not going to do that until I'm, 100% sure. Because there were several times during the last ordeal where I thought that I just am not going to be able to pull this off. It's just things are just not working. But I just couldn't stop trying to fiddle around with things and see if I could figure something out or do something that would actually work. And come to now, and it's back up and running. So I'm not. This isn't just some kind of simple project. I'm gonna be very easily willing to just kind of let go of. So if you want to make sure that nothing's happening and that it's just a lull period, which I'm hoping isn't ever going to be that severe again, but there very well may be another time where I miss a show or a couple of shows because of some kind of unusual circumstances. And it might be something that seems like, well, wait, is he not going to be live anyway? No, he probably will be. And so, like I say, the only way that I can think of is to make an announcement on X or make a video. But after last week, last couple of weeks, it's been obvious that maybe I won't even be able to do the video part from just a camera anyway. I could do voiceover for something dumb, but or for Silky Upside Down Rain, but either way, I'm gonna be back here with now the schedule before was was trying to decide between my noon to one noon schedule or my one schedule. And at this point, I'm feeling more likely that it's going to be at 1, but I'd like to try and push it back to noon if at all possible. I'm going to try and see if that's going to be able to be realistic in the next couple of weeks. But for the time being, expect it to be around 1 o'clock unless I have some kind of other thing going on. Well, I'll have to be up a lot earlier, or I'll have to be well, he'll just be, one way or another, it'll be here. And I'm pretty much sticking to the schedule that I had last time as far as days, Monday through Saturday. So once again, geez, I couldn't have asked for a better return. I'm freaking just so glad that whole ordeal is done and I'm back on now. So I will be back here tomorrow, and maybe we'll be a little bit more cohesive and straightforward, and actually have a linear topic to discuss that we can follow from point A to B. But this is my Armageddon sort of well, not Armageddon. Let's call it the anarchy style episode where anything goes, because I have no idea what I want to talk about. I'm just so stoked that the show's back up and running. So, but for you guys, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Frame Advantage was not something that I was ready to give up on, but man, geez, I was most disappointed because I was starting to see the numbers of you guys start to go up, and I was worried to death there wasn't going to be anyone that showed up today, and here we are. We had a lot more people than I ever expected to show up today, so thank you guys so much for making that happen, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So until then, have a great afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are, and I'll catch you then. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Now, I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out. What is?
For credits.
I don't know what that means. To play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah.
All right. Go.